Hello again, everyone. Erik Dunn here. Falls Count Anywhere on the Rhode Island Broadcasting Network. Backlash is done. There were some shockers, ones I really didn't think to happen. So at the time we got together, we're going to go over Backlash, and then we're going to even look at perhaps Money in the Bank a little bit. But we got to go to what will be happening before that. WWE Saturday night's main event live in San Antonio, Texas. 10 days from now. They've already got some matches working. We'll go over that. Some updates on some other live events that they're doing, and also a pretty sad update too about someone who was legendary in ECW, who unfortunately passed away this week. This show can be found every Wednesday at 5 live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch, as well as Amazon, Google, Spotify, Red Circle, TuneIn, and Podbean podcasts. Follow us on Facebook and our YouTube channels at Rhode Island Broadcasting. So YouTube, it's at Rhode Island Broadcasting. Facebook, Twitch, and TikTok at RI Broadcasting. So different spelling. At RI Broadcasting for Blue Sky. I mentioned Facebook, mentioned TikTok. Patreon, for those that want to help support us, support this program, FCA, going on daily, Sports Unfolded. And for those that want to be an advertising sponsor that wants to try to get your name out there, create your business or your brand, your ad will be read right there. It will not only be read so people can see it too, but the audio version will be on Spotify, Amazon, and Red Circle with many more included. Those wanting more information, send an email to Ron Rigo at ribroadcasting.media@gmail.com, all one word, ribroadcasting.media@gmail.com. Ron will send you on your way, give you everything you need so you can figure out how you can be a part of our journey and join the family. This broadcast of Falls Count Anywhere is the exclusive property of Erik Dunn Productions, Ron Rigo, and Rhode Island Broadcasting for the use of our audience. Any publication, reuse, or redistribution by anyone is not prohibited. Is given the express consent. There we go. To be shared everywhere, and is greatly appreciated. So we'll get this out of the way first. So we all know Money in the Bank is on June 7th from the Intuit Dome in LA. But there's another live event coming up in June, and that is Crown Jewel Perth. That'll be coming up at some point soon. But I'm talking about Night of Champions. You guys remember that pay-per-view? Night of Champions in not Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Saturday, June 28th. Tickets will be available soon. So it did not take place in 2024. They did King and Queen of the Ring last year. Night Champions in 23 was in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, not Riyadh. Like, you guys remember how good of a card this was? Listen to this. In 2023, when they had this card, it was Seth Rollins versus AJ Styles for the World Heavyweight Championship that they brought back. Seth won it. Trish Stratus defeated Becky Lynch. Gunther defeated Mustafa Ali to retain the Intercontinental title. Asuka defeated Bianca Belair to win the Raw Women's title. Rhea defeated Natalya to retain the SmackDown Women's title. Brock Lesnar defeated Cody Rhodes to tie up that best of three to one apiece. And then KO and Sammy defeated Roman and Solo to retain the tag team titles. Night Champions ran annually from 08 to 15 before taking a nearly decade-long hiatus, and is coming back once again. So with that being said, I also want to give you guys some quick rumors as well. After playing a pivotal role in seeing this heel turn at Elimination Chamber in March, The Rock disappeared from programming and has not been seen since. However, former WWE commentator Jonathan Coachman said that a source has told him expect The Rock to be back in the fold by the end of the summer. I haven't been on good authority. Cena and Rock will cross paths one way or another At Elimination Chamber, Rock was on hand to get an answer from then WWE Champion Cody Rhodes whether he would agree to sell his soul to the final boss. Cody refused. Cena and Travis Scott attacked Cody at Rock's behest, ending Cena's run of over 20 years as a beloved babyface. John loved the idea of turning heel. It was best for the final boss not to be involved in that finish at WrestleMania. John isn't a bad guy, but he's telling the truth now. You can feel in that in his delivery. I give John so much credit. What he's doing takes guts, and he's putting it all on the line. Rock said he spoke with Cena and Cody after Elimination Chamber and made the decision to remove himself from the storyline. And then Dom Mysterio took shots at CM Punk. If you guys remember that. And probably because of all the crap that Punk and Ray went through back in 2010 when he was part of the Straight Edge Society. Or, no, wait, that was a little bit before that. And that's that. So we'll see what happens. But unfortunately, we do have some sad news, and I want to dive into that just real quick. The death-suicidal, homicidal, suicidal Sabu passed away at the age of almost 61 years old. Terry Brunk, as known as Sabu, died. The nephew of Hall of Famer the Sheik. You guys remember the Iron Sheik? Sabu became a national star in ECW. He was a pioneer of hardcore wrestling, leaping from chairs and driving his opponents through tables, even barbed wire. Many of ECW's greatest matches were with the likes of Rob Van Dam, Mick Foley, Hall of Famers, as well as the Sandman and his greatest rival, the submission machine Taz. In '06, Sabu signed with WWE as part of its revival of the ECW brand. Finally unleashed on WWE, Sabu competed in marquee contests with Rey Mysterio for the World Heavyweight title and John Cena for the WWE title in mid '06 that summer. One of his greatest accomplishments came when he and fellow ECW originals, the Sandman, Tommy Dreamer, and Van Dam were victorious at WrestleMania 23 in Sabu's native Detroit in front of over 80,000 fans. Sabu left WWE in 2007 and continued to travel the world as sports entertainment's human highlight reel. WWE extends its condolences to Sabu, friends, family, and fans. I wonder what Paul Heyman's thinking about all that. I actually wonder. So, the last part before we go into Backlash. Saturday night's main event in 10 days in San Antonio. What we have is this. For the World Heavyweight title, Jey Uso versus Logan Paul. So listen, once the card fills up, I'll go into my previewing the card. So they will be part of the predictions for next week. And then Punk and Sami versus Seth and Braun. We will dive into all that for next week. But Ron and I are both here for Backlash. So let's go right into it. There are 5 matches on this card. Now, Ron, I'm going to give you what the match is, and then before I break down the recap of it, you tell me what your prediction was on who you picked, so I know what we have to figure out. For the United States title, it was a fatal 4-way. Jacob Fatu, LA Knight, Drew McIntyre, Damian Priest. Who did you have? I'm trying to remember. Did I pick Fatu or did I pick LA? I felt like I picked Fatu because I didn't think he was going to lose the title that quick. LA for both? Okay, so we both lost that one. Okay, thank you. So, Fatu, so right now we're both 0-1. Fatu retained the U.S. title in a very good fight. I mean, these were the right 4 for this match. I mean, arguably, this was probably the match of the night in a way because these guys had a lot going on. Great stories to tell. Fatu hit the first blow with a pop-up Samoan drop on Priest onto the barricade, Swanton on McIntyre, then Knight hit the BFT on Fatu, and Priest landed a Southern Heaven chokeslam on Knight, and then a Claymore on Priest left everyone motionless. They tumbled over to the timekeeper's area. Priest and McIntyre, Jacob and LA were fighting in the ring, and And then tables got involved, ladders got involved. And then here's the shock. Jeff Cobb, the 43-year-old, made his WWE debut. Fatu, seeming very dazed and confused with the arrival of Cobb, took advantage by hitting a huge moonsault on the megastar to retain his title. Fatu walked between Solo and Cobb and exited by himself. Maybe Jacob's planning a face turn? I don't know, but that could be interesting. This one, I told you I would get right. Lyra Valkyria retained the Women's Intercontinental title. Ron, can you confirm that? Because I believe I did say Lyra. I didn't. I don't think I picked Becky because I thought I said that Lyra was going to retain this and have a little bit more of a run. I didn't think they were going to get rid of it just fast because they were going to build up the storyline. Yep. So did you pick that as well, or did we both pick her, or did you pick Becky? You picked Becky. Okay. So all right. So I'm 1-1. You're 0-2 right now. All right. Former friends turned bitter rivals. Lynch berated Valkyria in front of the champion's Beyonce, but fought back with a stalling superplex that left her reeling. The man sent Valkyria into the second turnbuckle before landing a manhandle slam, but somehow kicked out. After a thumb to the eye from Lynch to Lyra, she executed a roll-up for a hard-earned victory. After the match, she locked in the disarmer and refused to release the hold until officials finally broke it. So right now, I'm 1-1. You are 0-2. This one, I think we both got wrong because I don't think you picked this one. Dominic Mysterio retained the Intercontinental title. I think we both picked Penta. So I think we're both 1-2. Am I accurate? Dom and Penta. I don't think I picked Dom. Yep, 1-2. All right, so now we're both 1-2. So, excuse me. Judgment Day came to capitalize, but Finn Balor took too long to get interference and forced the referee to eject the group. El Grande Americano, that's Chad Gable, used his steel-plated mask to blast Penta in the face, but still capitalized with a frog splash to retain the title. That match was so tough to be on the card. I don't know why that match was on the card. That was a bad match. This one I already know what happened. Gunther versus Pat McAfee. I believe I picked McAfee, and I think you picked Gunther. So that makes me 1-3, and you're 2-2. Correct? I believe that's right. I think you picked Gunther because you thought it was going to be a squash. Unless I'm wrong. Yep, McAfee and Gunther. I thought. Oh, we're both 1-3. Both 1-3. You had Gunther. Okay, so that makes me 1-3. All right. Well, let's go over this. I thought it was going to be a 5-minute squash. It was a 25-minute fight. The ring general toyed with his opponent, driving McAfee with a cannon of a chop on his chest. Gunther kept talking McAfee and Michael Cole, who was pleading with the ring general to end the match. McAfee fought back by hitting multiple kicks, but Gunther shrugged them off. McAfee had Pat locked in with the Boston Crab on the announce table, but Cole left to cheer for his friend. Gunther then threw Cole into the ring, trying to hit a powerbomb on the announcer. McAfee saved Cole from the attack. Cole held down Gunther's foot as McAfee covered the ring general, but Gunther kicked out. And despite a very valiant effort from McAfee, he gave out and passed out. Gunther gave a rare show of respect to McAfee, nodding to him before leaving. So that makes us 1-3. Now, tell me who you picked on this, Ron. The main event for the undisputed WWE Championship, Heel John versus Space Randy. I picked Randy, or did I pick John? We both picked Cena. Okay, so we're 2-3. I picked John because I didn't think that they would. I picked John because I didn't think he was going to lose it that fast, even though it would have made sense for Randy to have won his 15 title. We both picked John. Okay, so we both were 2-3. So we both were on the losing end. All right, so that brings my record to 12 and 17. Yours is 15 and 14. Okay, so I'm not that far off. By the way, you can get rid of the last two predictions because they don't matter anymore. Yeah, yeah, you can get rid of the last two predictions. We don't need those last two names anymore. It was labeled as one last time, the 24th one-on-one encounter. A poke to the eye from Cena, but the Viper poked him back. Cena went for a punt. Orton invaded. The ref got caught in a mixed-up, was taken out of action. Orton hit an AA before taking the title at ringside, but Cena went into the ring. Viper struck with an RKO, owing to a 2 count. The referee once again down on the outside. Cena tried to smash Orton to the announce table. Orton hit an attitude adjustment on the table instead. Orton retrieved another table, executed an AA to send him through it. Cena struck on the ref again. Orton landed another RKO. Two referees down. SmackDown GM Nick Aldis and the officials came out to assess the situation. Orton took out everyone with RKOs, including Aldis. The Viper looked to punch Cena, but R-Truth came in and to stop him. Truth got hit with an RKO. Cena got hit. Cena drilled him with an uppercut below the belt before blasting the Viper in the face to retain his title. And then, if you guys remember what happened at the press conference, Truth got AA. Not sure what's gonna happen with John, but if you guys watched the end of that match, like the end when Backlash went off air, did you see the look on his face? How many of you think that face turn is going to come back faster than you think? What if John's already starting to realize the mistake he made in doing that? Because it sounds like he's already regretting doing that. I mean, we all know the saying, ignorance is bliss, right? But we also know the saying, when you make a mistake, you can either say it was the right thing to do, or you sense it was wrong and you believe that it was wrong. Money in the Bank will be interesting. Money in the Bank will be interesting. Um, Backlash wasn't bad. Unfortunately, Raw and I were both 2 and 3, which is the first, because normally Ron's been on top on most of them compared to me. Thing is, I pick people that I would hope to win versus who I think is going to win, and then maybe that's my mistake. I can't do that for every match, but I don't know. I have my favorites. Excuse me. However, we go from there. We cross the bridge, right? So with that being said, as we go into the weeks following here, next week's broadcast, we're going to go over the card for Saturday night's main event, right? And then we'll dive in to Money in the Bank, and if there's any updates there. And then we'll also, when we hit June, Night of Champions in Red Eye, Saudi Arabia. Two live events for WWE in June. And we'll see what's going to happen with that. Just also as a side note, there's still no word on Brock. I don't think there is anyone on Brock. Yeah, I don't think there's still no word on Brock right now. Yeah, right now there's no word on. However, I just got an update from something 5 days ago from a woman named Simone Brogolini of Wrestling World. So as you mentioned, Brock has not appeared at WWE for 2 years now. His last match was SummerSlam 2 years ago. Since then, there have been no significant updates on his status. According to many insiders, his in-ring career may be over, and Triple H does not seem willing to spend so much money to bring him back to the ring. But the game, after implementing a very different policy, that of his predecessor Vince preferred to enhancing NXT's young talent rather than deplete the budget to convince veterans like Brock to appear. At the same time, wrestling has never been the greatest passion of the Beast incarnate, who has never hidden the fact that he approaches business mainly for economic reasons. These statements caused a lot of discussion at the time, and they're the reason for the stormy relationship between Lesnar and the WWE Universe. And that's not enough. Brock's son, Duke Lesnar, one of the best young was selected by the Medicine Hat Tigers, one of the best young hockey teams in the Canadian in Canada's Western Hockey League and the WHL and the Prospects Draft. He has a very good chance of entering the AHL in the future, becoming a professional player. We'll see if Father Brock will return by the end of the 25 season. So nothing on that, but I mean, like we'll have to see. But yeah, Brock's kids though, Duke and his son and daughter, have been making some pretty good moves in the sports world. And you know what? They take after their dad. Tough, ass kicking, not taking any prisoners, and you go from there, right? So with that being said, guys, that's all the updates I got for you. My name is Erik Dunn. Once again, saying so long from Bridgewater, Massachusetts. This has been the presentation of Falls from Anywhere on the Rhode Island Broadcasting Network. Saturday's main event, Money in the Bank, Raw and SmackDown. We'll go over all that and preview everything else you need. Thank you so much for watching, as well as for listening.